Chopin's Etude Opus 25 number 10, the octaves, is especially challenging for those of us with small hands. And if your hands are small enough that reaching an octave is uncomfortable for you, please don't play this piece. Please talk to your teacher about finding something else that you can play until you grow or your hand grows. But if you can play an octave, this piece can teach you about making different shapes as you're holding these inner notes. So I'll show you some strategies for that. It's a really good idea to start practicing this just thumbs alone. Or even just whatever finger comes naturally with a single line. Then once you have the thumbs, you can play just thumbs with inner voices. The middle notes usually work better with two. Hold on to them if you can, but if you can't, just let them go. If you do let them go, you can still accent them so you hear them melodically. When you add in the octaves, experiment with the fingering. Use 5 where you need to in both hands, but if you can, it's helpful to use 4 sometimes because it breaks up the pattern. Make sure you practice the octaves and the chords slowly until the motions start feeling normal. And you might want to even practice just the pinky with the middle note. You will find your hands make some strange shapes. The finger holding down the inner voice can actually be very passive while it's holding onto the note. As long as the key doesn't come up, the finger can be really flexible and relaxed. It can even curl. You really can't play all of this with a flat hand. You have to let the hand be flexible and closed. One useful hand position to keep in mind is what I like to call the one-eared llama. The one-eared llama is a hand position that might seem sort of strange, but can actually be really, really useful and helpful. So if you imagine that your hand and your arm are a llama, here's two-eared llama, hello, with this being the body, and this being the neck, and this being the head, ears, nose, mouth. The distance between the ear and the nose is actually really far, and if you let your hand close, it can help you find the shape that you need. So just to really show you the difference between what's possible with a flat hand stretching and what's possible with a one-eared llama, this is about as far as I can stretch my 4th finger and 5th finger apart. And it doesn't feel great, and it's not that far. So if I take this distance, and then I turn my other hand into a one-eared llama, look at how much farther I can reach between 5 and 4. And of course it's true in both hands. So the one-eared llama reminds us that we are 3-dimensional creatures and that we're going to sometimes need strange hand positions that are not just your typical 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 position, but that you can find the comfortable position that will let you get to where you need to go. So really here we have more the possibility of llama than full-on llama. But when we have these inner notes, I'll show you in the right hand, if the inner note is closer to the thumb and we try to keep the hand flat, everything feels very tense and difficult, and right here starts to hurt for me on my hand. But if you let your hand have the possibility of llama, this chord can be this way instead of this way. And so if you're this way, then when you move here, you can change from llama towards flat. When you get to the slow B section, Chopin has really nicely given us a vacation here that those of us with small hands need by this point. Make sure in the first 2 measures of the B section at 29 and 30, when you're playing the single lines instead of the octaves, make sure that you allow your hands to close. If you keep your hands open so that you are still kind of ready for the octave, you're not giving yourself the break that Chopin wants to give you. If you have to play all the octaves in the B section with 5, you can fake legato with the pedal and arm. But you might find that you actually can reach some of them with 4 if you play it very quickly and then immediately release the thumb. If you're going to play all of the octaves with 5, still let the thumbs go in your right hand, and you can connect the line with legato pedaling. What I mean by legato pedaling is that you can use the pedal to make successive notes even with one finger sound legato. So it goes play, and then the foot goes up and down. Play, up, down. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So with both hands it could be. And then roll any chords that you need to in the left hand, just with a clear conscience. In measure 51, you can roll and take the low C sharp in the left hand to facilitate the trill. That way you can let the right hand close, so you can trill with 2 and 3, instead of trying to do a trill with 5 and 3 or 5 and 4 or some sort of situation there. So you can let the hand close. And you can roll that left hand F sharp to A natural too. See if you can just hold down the A to grab the corner of the G sharp with your pinky, and then you can play the descending line with your thumb. If you can't reach from the A to the G sharp, you can let the A go and emphasize the A to the G sharp in the right hand. Repeated pattern at the end of the B section where the left hand plays a 9th from F sharp to G natural at the beginning of measures 90 to 99. It might be easier to reach that 9th if you play the F sharp and flatten the pinky side of your hand so you're just barely holding onto the corner of the black key. And one nice thing to practice slowly might be trying that where you're holding onto the corner of the F sharp, and then you can use your other hand to open up your thumb joint. Don't do this a lot, and certainly don't do it so that it hurts, but you can actually expand your hand a little bit if you open up from here to here. So remember to practice slowly and take breaks when you need to. And enjoy Opus 25 number 10. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.